Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So guys, for today's video, we have some NBA content. Now the story of this video goes back to yesterday. I was in the middle of eating a grilled cheese sandwich. It was a really good one. And then the thought just came to me. It just came to me, guys. Which NBA teams can win a title in the next 5 years? It just came to me mid-grilled cheese, can't explain it, so here we are. The rest was history. So, yeah, it just came to me, guys. You know, there's a lot of NBA teams that have great futures. A lot of teams don't have great futures. A lot of teams are contending right now. A lot of teams are far from contention. So put it all together, and I think it creates an interesting, opinionated video that I'm going to need your guys' comments on, of course. But without further ado, comment your opinions. But just in my opinion, in the next 5 years, I'm going to go through every team and tell you whether I think they have a good shot at winning the title or whether I think they can't win the title. And if they can't, doesn't mean it's impossible, of course. What do I know? But if I think they can, that means I legitimately think they have a decent shot. But if they can't, I don't think. Yeah, you get it. Okay, let's just start with the presentation, the random order of the NBA teams that we have here. Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, can the Bucks win a title in the next 5 years? Of course they can. They won it in 2021, 2 years ago, and they're definitely a contender right now. They have Giannis, who's going to be great for years to come. Enough said. Bucks, definitely, of course. Brooklyn Nets. Yes, they can win a title. They can win a title this year if KD and Kyrie are healthy. This is a wide open Eastern Conference, wide open NBA season, but their window isn't going to be open for the longest of time because it's just KD and Kyrie without much depth or future pieces. But currently, right now, they are a contender, so that counts, of course. New York Knicks, you know, they're pretty good. They're in the playoffs right now. I think they're the 6th seed as we speak at the making of this video in the Eastern Conference, but I don't think the Knicks can win a title in the next 5 years because with the core that they have, I just don't think it's good enough. I don't think Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, I don't think they have enough offense. I don't think they're good enough to be the last team standing in a given season. I don't think they're good enough to win the title. I think they need more offense. They might need another great player to build up for the future. I just don't think this current core, honestly, it's good, but it's not good enough, at least offensively, to win the title. Then we have the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors won the title not too long ago in 2019, but are the Raptors a team that can win a title in the next 5 years? I'm going to say no because a lot of their core is in their prime right now, ready to win. Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, of course. You do have a couple of young pieces like Scotty Barnes and OG Anunoby, but right now they're below 500, and I don't think they have enough young pieces, it's kind of a weird spot the Raptors are at because the indications are that VanVleet and Siakam might not be there long-term, and then the guys that they do have long-term, I don't think they have enough guys long-term to win a title in the next 5 years. What we're seeing right now really is close to the final product of this team that they have, so I just don't think that they're good enough to win the title, or I don't think they have enough good pieces to win a title in the next 5 years. Then we have the Utah Jazz, who overachieved at the start of the year, of course. They were at one point, I think, the #1 seed in the West. They have gone downhill. They have regressed like a lot of us thought they would. Look, they have some good players. I'm really impressed by what Lauri Markkanen has done this year, but they cannot win a title with this current core. They don't really have too many young players to build for the future, and with the current players they have now, they're lucky to be a playoff team if they are. They're probably a play-in team, maybe not even a play-in team, so I don't think the Jazz can win a title in the next 5 years. Houston Rockets. See, now this one's interesting because they do have a lot of good young players. I like Kevin Porter, I like Jabari Smith, Jalen Green, I love Sengun, but is 5 years from now, will they be ready to win? It's close. I'm going to say no, but maybe they're 6, 7, 8 years away from a title because a lot of their young players are like 20, 21 years old. So in 5 years, they might still be getting better. They might not even be in their prime in 5 years. And so we'll see. The Rockets, they have a really bright future, but I think 5 years is a little too close, at least for right now. I think they're more of a 6, 7, 8 year team. Then we'll see. New Orleans Pelicans, absolutely. The Pelicans could be a dark horse contender. I think they are a contender this year. They could be a dark horse Western Conference winner and champion this year, but with Zion, Ingram, McCollum, they have a lot of really good players and a team that's ready to win right now, and they're young, which is a great combination, of course. So a lot to be excited about in New Orleans. I think they can definitely win a title in the next 5 years. My Los Angeles Lakers, look, I gotta be honest, it's not gonna happen in the next 5 years. I mean, who are we kidding? LeBron, AD, together, maybe they're a contender, but AD at this point is made of glass. LeBron is getting old. It's a long shot, and 2-3 years from now, when LeBron's not the same probably or retired, they don't really have any young players that I envision stardom from. They don't have a lot of draft picks, so they're not in a great spot for the future. Kind of an old roster, so they cannot win a title, in my opinion, in the next 5 years. And I think a lot of my fellow Laker fans know that, unfortunately. Chicago Bulls. The Bulls are pretty disappointing because they have a lot of their players, their 3 best players, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Nick Vooch, they're all in their primes right now, ready to win, but this Bulls team is not a contender right now. They're not even really close, so I don't think they can win a title in the next 5 years. I think they need to get some new pieces, and it's going to take a little while to build up a new core because their current core, I don't think is good enough to win the title. Minnesota Timberwolves. Oh, this one's kind of tough because yes, Anthony Edwards is only 21. Yes, Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell are still pretty young in their mid-20s, mid to late 20s. But this team, other than Edwards, is kind of ready to win now, and they're under 500. So they should be better. So I'm going to say no. I feel like they might need another piece. I don't think Rudy Gobert's working out there. This core that they have, Towns and Edwards are really good, but why aren't they better? They should be better, and so I just don't think Rudy Gobert's working out there. I don't think they can win it with him. With this current core that they have, I don't think they can win it. The Blazers, unfortunately, I don't think Damian Lillard's getting a title in Portland. I mean, they traded McCollum last year. They looked good at the beginning of this year. I like Anthony Simons. I like Jeremy Grant. I like Yusuf Nurkic, but they were better earlier this year. They've regressed. They're below 500. And it's becoming pretty clear that they don't have good enough players around Dame Lillard to get this title. And Lillard's in his prime right now, maybe even getting toward the end of his prime. I just don't see it happening. If it hasn't happened by this point, if they haven't even gotten to the finals, it's not going to happen. So Denver Nuggets, I think the Denver Nuggets can win a title. They're going to get one. Or I think they have a good shot to get one in the next 5 years because Jokic is obviously Jokic. He's the Joker. But also they're a contending team right now, second in the West, really good record. They have a shot to win it this year, again, in a wide-open NBA season, right around the halfway point. And then Michael Porter hopefully keeps getting better. Jamal Murray keeps continuing to get back to who he once was. Aaron Gordon is playing really well right now. It's a pretty good team. I think they have a shot. OKC Thunder, they have some promising young players, obviously. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, probably the most improved player this season, but they don't really have much depth. I like Josh Giddey. I like Lou Dort. I don't think Lou Dort's a star. I think Josh Giddey could be a star. Shai Gilgeous is already a star, but after that, who is really a star? Who can really be a huge contributor to a potential championship team in the next 5 years? Pokuševski, I don't see it. I don't think the Thunder can do it in the next 5 years. We move on to the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies they're kind of like the Pelicans. They're a young team that's already ready to contend right now. They're the #1 seed in the West. They were a contender last year. John Morant, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane, Dillon Brooks. I mean, really good roster, really good core group of players, and they're going to be great for years to come. And they even have a shot this year. They're contenders right now. So definitely the Grizzlies can win a title in the next 5 years. Dallas Mavericks, okay, this one's kind of weird because maybe with their current roster, I think I'm going to say they can win a title just because of Luka, just because of how great Luka is. I think he will get a title in the next 5 years, as well as an MVP, at least one in the next 5 years. I think they need another player, another piece to help them get there, but I trust that they will get Luka another piece. I feel like they'll find a way to surround him with a good enough team in the next 5 years to at least have a pretty good shot at winning the title. The Spurs, this one's easy. I'm sorry, Coach Pop. Sorry, Spurs fans, they're not even close. They need a complete overhaul. They have a couple good young players, but they need to find a lot more. They're not even close. Completely in rebuild mode are the Spurs. The Phoenix Suns, this one's kind of tough because they've had injuries. Devin Booker's been hurt. CP3's been hurt. Right, and with Ayton, I guess right now, because the season's young, still, I guess we're just at the halfway point, still a wide open season. I might regret this. I'm gonna say they can, but their window's closing. I don't know if it's completely closed. If they're fully healthy, maybe they have a chance, but I don't know. That one's really close. I might change it. I have to think about it. Clippers, this one's actually surprising. I'm gonna say Clippers cannot win a title in the next 5 years because Kawhi and Paul George, I mean, I know Kawhi's making his way back, and they should be contenders, but something's missing. I don't think they have too much after those two guys. They might need a third really good player. I don't know what it is. I just feel like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are very similar in that they're both two-way wings, and I just don't think they complement each other that well. I think the best shot they had was in the bubble, and maybe in 2021 as well, but we'll see. I mean, that one's tough. I don't know. I just can't trust Kawhi Leonard's health. And I don't know. They're maybe kind of getting toward the end of their primes. So I don't see it. I think they're not exactly a young team. So I don't think the Clippers can win a title in the next 5 years. But maybe it's my Clipper hatred. That's a very real possibility. We move on to another team that I don't really like because of a regional rivalry. And that is the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors are the defending champs. But I think their title window is closed. I think from reports we've heard, they're going to break this group up. Probably someone's leaving, either Clay or Dre, and I think they've won their last title together. I think they're going to try to rebuild. They might have a couple young pieces like Kuminga and Wiseman. Curry's going to be there. He's a Warrior for life guy, you know, there's no doubt. He's a lifer, but they have to retool, and I don't know. I think they're done winning titles, at least in the near future, in my opinion. Pistons, this is a team, again, a lot of young players, but there's a lot of uncertainty, and I don't think they have enough really good young players. They're a ways away. I just don't see it anytime soon. Cade Cunningham, really like him, but he's hurt right now. Killian Hayes, like him. I like Jaden Ivey, but yeah, they're raw. I don't think they're ready. I don't think they have enough. It's going to take a while in Motown, so I don't think the Pistons can win a title. Sacramento Kings, this one's tough. Maybe at the beginning of the year, I would have leaned no, but the Kings are pretty good. They're in a playoff spot right now. They're over 500. De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis have played pretty well together. These are two stars, of course. They're still young. I think this depends on someone else has to become like a third guy. Maybe Keegan Murray. Someone has to emerge because I just, I think they need a third guy, another fringe 20-point per game scorer. I'm going to be bold on this one. I'm going to say yes. I think the Kings have a shot. They're probably going to be a playoff team this year, and they're maybe one piece away from being a legit contender, in my opinion. They probably shouldn't have traded Halliburton away, but then again, they wouldn't have gotten Sabonis if they didn't trade him away. So they probably need another piece, but they're not too far away. We move on to the Cavs. The Cavs, I definitely think the Cavs can win a title in the next 5 years. I wouldn't even rule out a surprise championship run this year. I love the backcourt of Garland and Mitchell. I love the front court of Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley. I love Karis LeVert. This is a very, very deep team, very good team, very young team that I think will be contending for years to come. The Boston Celtics. Yeah, of course. They're best team in the East. They're going to be a contender for years to come. They just got to the finals last year. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. They're, again, one of those teams that's young, but ready to win now and ready to win in the future. No doubt about the Celtics. The Sixers. The Sixers. Okay. From what I've seen the last couple years, I'm going to say no, only for a couple reasons. Number one, okay, well, 3 reasons, really. Joel Embiid, love the guy. Definitely can be the best player on a championship team, and he's playing great this year. But he always gets banged up. In a long season, I feel like by the playoffs, I just don't feel like he plays his best because he's always a little banged up, and he needs help. And then even though James Harden's playing well, we know this, that James Harden's he declines in the playoffs. He doesn't play nearly as well in the playoffs as he does in the regular season, so I just can't trust him to be the guy to step in and help Embiid out. And also, Doc Rivers in the playoffs, I don't know about that. I know the Sixers are the 4th seed, I think, so you would think they're a contender. Maybe they are. I just don't see it, unfortunately. Just from what I've seen the last 2 or 3 years from the Sixers, they've had some playoff woes. Charlotte Hornets cannot win a title. They have LaMelo Ball. Yeah, maybe they had Miles Bridges, and then, stuff happened with him, and then they just have they're just not good. The rest, other than LaMelo Ball, they don't have a great young team to build to the future. I guess they have Rozier and Oubre. That's not enough. Plumlee, credit to him, he's balling out, but it's not enough. They need a lot more. I don't see it happening anytime soon. Washington Wizards, I don't see it happening anytime soon with the Wizards either. I love Bradley Beal. I give him credit for staying in Washington all this time, but they don't really have... This current core is basically in its prime. Beal, Porzingis, Kuzma. They're not even a playoff team. They're probably not even a play-in team, and they're going to need young players. It's coming. The writing's on the wall. A rebuild is coming. Wizards, not really close. The Magic are interesting. Sometimes you have to be bold. This is where, you can argue with me in the comments. I think they have an outside shot. I think they can do it in the next 5 years. 5 years from now. So here's what's interesting about the Magic. They have 8 players who average double-digit points per game, score double figures, or double figures on average. 8 guys. When do you ever see that? And all 8 of these guys are 25 or younger. They have so many young guys. 2-3 years from now, everyone I think is gonna keep getting better there. They're gonna be so stacked. All these years of drafting really high. They have the Wagner brothers, they have Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, of course, Banchero, Bull, Markelle Fultz. I mean, this is an exciting team. A lot of good players. So I really like the Magic. I think maybe at the end of that 5 years, right toward the end, we're kind of pushing it, but I think 5 years from today, they could be definitely a contender, in my opinion. Because I think a lot of these guys will be getting toward their primes. Then we have another Florida team, the other Florida team, the Miami Heat. I don't see it. I'm sorry. They might need another piece, but they're really ready to win now. I mean, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, these are veterans. Yeah, Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero are young, and 5 years from now, they might be even better. But 5 years from now, Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry aren't going to be the same. I highly doubt that. I mean, Jimmy Butler's, 33 right now? So their window's right now, and they're not really... they were the 1 seed last year, but this year they've declined, and I think their window might be closing. Wouldn't completely rule it out, but I don't really see it. Atlanta Hawks... No, I don't think they can. I thought they could coming into this year, but... They're below 500 for some reason. DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, John Collins, Clint Capella. I mean, they've had some injuries, sure, but it's not really working out. I don't know why. I don't know what's missing. Maybe they're just bad defensively. I don't know what it is. The Hawks have disappointed, and I just don't... What I see right now, I don't see it. I think they need to change something. Last but not least, Indiana Pacers. I've been impressed by the Pacers. They've played well this year. They've been surprising. They're usually a playoff team, but I'm going to say no. Yes, I like Mathurin. I like some of their young players. I love Halliburton, but they might need another piece. They might need some more depth, and I don't know. I don't see it yet in terms of... I'm thinking about championships. The Pacers are always kind of like a playoff team, but right now, I just don't see a championship in the next 5 years. So, guys, that is my video. I actually had less teams that I think can win the title in the next 5 years than I thought. I thought there'd be more in the top category, but that's it, guys. Maybe I was a little strict. You're definitely going to disagree with me on something. I'd love to hear all your opinions, any and all of them. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're an NBA fan and you haven't done so already. And thanks again, guys, and I'll see you all, of course, in the next one.